Now, Larry Fitzgerald, some concern about his hamstring. Now, for Jim Schwartz, he's without one of his starting defensive linemen, Nick Fairley, out with a shoulder injury.
Well, key ingredient when you have Ndamukong Suh and Nick Fairley, two very active, athletic, big defensive linemen. You have to have 4 eyes on them and 3 hands at all times to make sure they're not disrupting your game plan, just the 2 of them alone.
And Bruce Arians, first year as a full-time head coach, last year Coach of the Year in the NFL as an interim with the Indianapolis Colts when he was 9-3, did such a fabulous job getting the Colts to the playoffs. The Lions have won the coin toss, elected to receive. Jay Feely is teeing it up. And Michael Spurlock is back deep for the Lions. Lions 1-0. Cardinals 0-1 after a tough loss last week. Lions with a big divisional win over Minnesota. Here we go. Spurlock deep over the end line. It's a touchback. Matthew Stafford passed for over 4,000 yards last year and looking for a big season this year. Look at those yardage numbers.
It is staggering. Him and Calvin Johnson, it's almost not even fair.
What do you look for from the Lions offensively?
Well, you know what? I think Scott Linehan, the OC, they want to be way more balanced than they've been in the past. Javid Best injured. Reggie Bush comes in. That gives them the ability, alongside Joique Bell, to run the ball, stabilize the offense for Matthew Stafford.
2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers. They motion Pettigrew. The fake handoff, the end around, and Burleson is stopped for a big loss. Big play by John Abraham, who's normally in passing down situations.
The old wily vet sniffs it out, stays at home. Here's your replay. You're going to have John Abraham right here on the edge. He comes off. He's doing his job. You see the block by Brandon Pettigrew, just could not get it done. Great play. That is what Bruce Arians wanted to establish. Bring in older veteran players that are going to do their job consistently, set the tone and the standard for the younger players.
Loss of 8 on the play. And they spread the offense. Stafford works out of the shotgun. High snap. He has time and completes it. Up across the 20-yard line to Patrick Edwards. Pickup of 10 on the play. Check out the rest of the Lions offensive lineup. Larry Walford, a rookie at guard. Corey Higgard, who played most of the game for the injured Jason Fox, starts today. Fox is out.
And this is your group right here. Reggie Bush, Nate Burleson back and healthy. We know Calvin Johnson. These 5 players have to be big time today for Matthew Stafford.
Five-yard penalty.
The flag on the play.
Illegal substitution, Sam, and this is the stuff that has been driving Jim Schwartz crazy. Last year, they bettered themselves in the penalty department. Last week, 11 penalties to start week 1, 88 yards. This just destroys what Scott Linehan and Jim Schwartz want to do with tempo and creating the possessions on offense.
Ball moved back to the 7-yard line. Makes it a 2nd and 23. That's Carl Johnson, who was the former supervisor of officials, was the line judge. Pete Morelli is our referee. It is, you see the numbers that Keith talked about, 11 penalties. That's something they badly need to clean up. 3 wide receivers in the game on 2nd down. Reggie Bush, who had a great game last week. What a debut for the Lions. Gets about 5 on the play. Let's check out the Arizona Cardinals defense. Todd Bowles is the defensive coordinator. Go with a 3-4.
Calais Campbell and Darnell Dockett are as fine as you get at their position. Big Dan Williams in the middle. And then you bring back Carlos Dansby from Miami. Started his career here, a very complete linebacker. And we know Patrick Peterson, don't we, Sam?
Yes. They're still without Darrell Washington. He's out for the 2nd game of a 4-game suspension. There's 3rd and long. Stafford goes to Reggie Bush. He breaks 1 tackle, leapfrogs his own man, try to reach out for the 1st down marker that came up a couple of yards short. Carlos Dansby with the tackle on Reggie Bush.
This is basically the same screen from last week that Reggie Bush. You're going to see him kind of trickle and then go right back across the middle. They flip the formation, flip the side, they get the thing. You have your split safeties deep. Reggie, little short of the first down.
High punt by Sam Martin as they try to limit the return man, Patrick Peterson. He's got some room, got one block, and then he's brought down at the 21-yard line by Ashley Palmer. 56-yard punt. And Carson Palmer, in his first year with the Arizona Cardinals, traded by the Raiders to the Cardinals for a couple of draft picks, and he gives them stability at the quarterback position.
Well, Bruce Arians was glowing and talking about his professionalism, the way he prepares, the way he challenges the players around him.
The Cardinals still without fine receiving tight end Rob Hausler, missing his second game with an ankle injury. They open with two tight ends, Jim Dre and Corey Sperry. Rashard Mendenhall is the running back. Palmer looks up and throws, hits Larry Fitzgerald. He's tripped up on the play as he gets across the 30 to the 32. Louis Delmas with the ankle tackle.
Well,
first down.
You're going to see Larry right here outside, kind of tucked in a little tighter than we're used to seeing him. It's the crossing routes. We heard Stephen Tulloch and the defensive players yesterday talk about what Carson Palmer wants to do. Crossing routes, get the ball to number 11.
Larry Fitzgerald tweaked a hamstring Wednesday, didn't practice much Thursday or Friday, but ready to go for the game, in motion. Off the play fake. Palmer gets rid of it, completes to Jim Dre, the tight end. A first down up at the 46-yard line. Glover Quinn, the safety, made the stop, a gain of 14.
Well, you watch Rashard Mendenhall. Here's your back in the backfield. He is going to give your play action fake, which is one of those things Jim Schwartz, but you see the little chip on the edge versus Willie Young. It's an easy step up in the pocket for Carson Palmer. This is what you want to see, the rhythm they're starting to create on offense with all the new pieces.
Three wide receivers for the Cardinals. Rashard Mendenhall with his first carry is stopped after a short pickup. Got maybe half a yard on the play. C.J. Mosley, the 9-year veteran, is starting in place of Nick Fairley. He made the stop.
Well, and you got to watch Ndamukong Suh right here. This is the disruptive effort. You're going to see him on Paul Faneca. Paul pulls. Suh is so fast and explosive. He reads and understands what's going on in front of him, shoots through there. You almost have to plan for his explosiveness in those inside trap plays because he beats the block to the punch.
Empty backfield on 2nd and 9. Andre Ellington is a running back to the right. Palmer goes left for Larry Fitzgerald. He was wide open, but the pass was just overthrown. Rasheem Mathis was covering on the play, and Larry beat him.
Well, Rasheem Mathis is right here, locked in, and this is the guy they call coach in that defensive secondary. You got to know what Larry's wanting to do. He baits him to get his eyes in the backfield, and then Carson and Larry. It's that timing and rhythm they were talking about yesterday. It's still a work in process. That was a scary play. Jim Schwartz and this defense got away with one there.
Here's 3rd and 9 for the Cardinals, and again, they go empty backfield with Alphonso Smith, the running back, split out to the left. Palmer with time, throws and connects with Andre Roberts. No, that's an incomplete pass. He dropped the ball as he was hit. Looks like Glover Quinn, the safety, with a big hit, broke it up.
Well, and this is part of that Dre Roberts. Andre Roberts has had an amazing plays, splash plays, but at times it's the consistency that bothers you. Glover Quinn, this was a good hit, good timing, bam, bam, play action, but ultimately you've got to make that catch for Carson Palmer.
Roberts had a great game last week, holding on to the football in tough situations. Dave Zastudil with a punt. Michael Spurlock is deep. There's a flag down. Spurlock takes it, slips 2 men, goes out of bounds short of the 20-yard line. Right at the 20. We'll pick up the flag and see what that's all about. 43-yard punt for Dave Zastudil with a 9-yard return.
During the kick, holding. Number 28, the receiving team. 10-yard penalty, first down, timeout.
Bill Bentley called for a hold on the Lions, cost them some yardage on the return. Lions and Cardinals. Carson Palmer knew he had a chance to hit Larry Fitzgerald, but just missed him. We are in the desert, and it's been hot here, but inside, great situation in the stadium here in Glendale, Arizona. There's Tom Moore, 75 years old. He's still going strong.
An offensive genius.
Helping assist Bruce Arians. Lions start from the 6-yard line. Cardinals have 5 defensive backs in. Quick outside, complete to Nate Burleson, who had a terrific game last week. He's coming back from a broken leg and it's playing well.
Well, we're seeing Carson and Larry here kind of talk things out. A little frustration. Tom Moore, who Sam mentioned a minute ago, an offensive genius. They were so close. Big play after big play. Andre Roberts just had that crucial drop on 3rd down.
6 defensive backs in for the Cardinals, 3 wideouts for the Lions. Pettigrew, the tight end, motions. The toss to Reggie Bush. Finds a little room, and he goes out of bounds at the 17-yard line. Looks like he's got enough for the 1st down.
This is the quandary that they kind of put you in. Look at all these DBs. When you have Reggie Bush in the game, you know, passing situations, they call this the big nickel. It's actually 6 DBs, 4 safeties, 2 corners. Hopefully enough safety presence in the box to stop the run when Reggie runs, but also the passing athleticism to be able to stay with the tight ends and Reggie Bush out of the backfield in the pass game.
1st down for the Lions. Bush splits out into the slot. Joyke Bell, the other running back, is in the backfield. Stafford. And his receiver, Chris Durham, fell down. Covered by Tyrann Mathieu on the play.
You see Tyrann Mathieu here. Listen, this is easy coverage. Chris Durham's going to come out, going to try to stem him inside. You see the football awareness of Tyrann Mathieu. He knows his responsibility, doesn't get baited to that inside leverage, knows where his help is. This is a rookie player. Mentally, we heard Bruce Arians, the coaching staff. He's not a rookie in the mental department.
2 backs in. They continue with Reggie Bush and Joyke Bell. On 2nd and 10. The short pass complete to Joyke Bell. Bell has got some power with a strong run up to the 27-yard line. Interesting formation with both backs in.
Yes, sir. This is I think the position that Joyke Bell gives you. He's actually lined up in the fullback position, slides over, screens to the opposite side. They draw everyone's attention with Reggie Bush flaring out to the left. Joyke Bell slips back right. It was actually read pretty well by Carlos Dansby. Just got knocked off by one of the guards pulling out to block him off.
You taught both of those guys pretty well in New Orleans.
Yeah, I had Joyke as an undrafted free agent in New Orleans. And Reggie Bush, well, I can't take too much credit for the things he does.
Surprise snap to Stafford. He gets rid of it to Calvin Johnson, and a 1st down for the Lions.
Calvin Johnson, again, listen, the physical matchup. You know, Patrick Peterson, 21's on him. You got to give basically the space, because we know what Calvin's able to do. But those quick pitches is what you call them. It's almost an extension of the run game.
Ball's up to the 36-yard line. Lions with a 1st down at their own 36. We welcome those of you who've been watching the game in Tampa. That game delayed here in Arizona. No score in the game. The Lions on the move. The short pass from Matthew Stafford to Reggie Bush gets about 2 yards up to the Lions 38. Sam Rosen, Heath Evans, Molly McGrath here in Glendale, Arizona. The Arizona Cardinals 0-1. The Detroit Lions 1-0. Each team has had the ball once. This is the Lions' 2nd possession. And the ball up close to the 39-yard line. No score in the game. Reggie Bush in the backfield with Matthew Stafford. Here's Bush. Slips one man and is brought down across the 45. Looks like he's very close to the 1st down. Carlos Dansby Gerard Powers combined on the stop. Gain of 7.
Reggie has a nice run, but look at this right here. Normally your safety with Calvin Johnson has to play so deep and so far back. The Arizona Cardinals, they feel with Patrick Peterson, they can man up. They're willing to take that battle. It allows Arizona to get an extra defender in the box to hopefully stabilize this run, Reggie Bush and Joique Bell, that Matthew Stafford's trying to drive down the field.
Reggie Bush, 3 carries, 21 yards. First down, Lions. Stafford throws and completes it to Nate Burleson. He's hauled down by Tyrann Mathieu, the rookie out of LSU. A gain of 8 on the play.
Nate Burleson's right here on the inside. You see him. This is the guy that because of injury they were missing last year. Constantly, he's just consistent. We watched Matthew Stafford talk about him yesterday. Just a special, energetic wide receiver.
Lions in Cardinals territory, 2nd and 2. 9th play of this drive. Joique Bell is the running back. Off the play fake. Got rid of it to Pettigrew, the tight end. Rumbles down to the 34-yard line. First down, Lions. Dansby on the stop, gain of 12 on the play.
Well, and this is what Joique Bell offers you. Play action, not a great view of it, but Brandon Pettigrew slips out of the backfield, kind of a cross formation. He gets lost because you're thinking run. Stafford's able to deliver the ball very quickly. Big gain.
Lions use their tight ends, all 3 of them. We've seen Pettigrew, Tony Scheffler, and we'll see the rookie, Joseph Fourier. On first down, Stafford puts it up deep, and it's incomplete. Overthrew Chris Durham. Durham one-on-one with Gerard Powers, and Powers with good coverage on the play.
This is one of those balls you just a little less touch. You know, Gerard Powers, man-to-man coverage, which we're going to see a lot of today. A little pull, and you'll get away with that. The ball just slightly out of bounds. This is where Chris Durham, new to Matthew Stafford, obviously because of injuries last year. Matthew, as well as Carson Palmer on the flip side of the ball, still working out the rhythm timing. These are the week 2 struggles that we're prone to see.
Matthew Stafford had hit 5 in a row before that incompletion. There's 2nd and 10. Bush cutting it back. And he stopped. Great tackle on the play by the rookie, Tony Jefferson. Time for an update. Here's Joel Klatt back in the studio. Joel.
Thank you, Sam. 2 unbelievable finishes. Under 20 seconds in Chicago, Jay Cutler finds Martellus Bennett. The extra point is good. 31-30 win Bears. In Buffalo, E.J. Manuel finds a wide-open Stevie Johnson. 24-23, E.J. Manuel with his first win in the NFL. Sam, Heath, and Molly.
How about those crunch time plays?
Well, what did Bruce Arians tell us last week? 12 games came down to the 2-minute possession last week in week 1.
Here's 3rd and 14. Have to get to the 26, the 24 for a first down. Stafford to a wide open Joique Bell, but he's brought down. Good tackle on the play by Rashad Johnson.
3rd and 14, you don't really have too many play strikes in your offensive game plan on 3rd and 14. I think it's a smart decision by Matthew Stafford. Don't make a poor decision down the field trying to force something in. Get the yardage in the drive with a long field goal attempt.
They bring on David Akers for a 52-yard field goal try. Sam Martin is the holder. Don Muhlbach, the long snapper. Akers gets it away and misses wide to the left. Flag down, and we'll check this one out.
It looks like we're going to have running into the kicker. Number 31, I think Justin Bethel is the defensive back for Arizona that flies off the side and hits the leg of David Akers post kick.
So that will give the Lions 5 yards, and Akers will get another try. This will be from 48 yards out. Let's make it 47. This one had plenty of distance. Akers gets a second try, and this one he pulled. No good. He missed both times on either side of the uprights.
Arizona got away with one here. We see Justin Bethel. This could have cost this team 3 points. Bruce Arians said, special teams, we should win every single week.
Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL.
Sam Martin, who is the punter and a rookie punter, but was also a place kicker in college, he might be called on to get some work.
Well, and they're working on David Akers on the sideline. David had his struggles last year, obviously brought in here to be that consistent present at that position. 2 opportunities, first one wide left, second one wide right.
After a 13-play Lions drive, comes up empty. The Cardinals start from their 37. Rashard Mendenhall, the running back, straight ahead, bounces it outside. Good burst of speed by Rashard Mendenhall. Gets up to the 48-yard line of first down. A pickup of 11 on the play. Glover Quinn with his tackle.
Well, when you talk about Bruce Arians, people think Andrew Luck, Big Ben Roethlisberger passing attack, but he wants to be a power-running football team. He wants to establish the physical dominance at the line of the scrimmage. We saw Rashard Mendenhall right there. Big gain on first down.
Rashard Mendenhall had a couple of big seasons with the Steelers. One season a couple of years ago, back over 1,200 yards rushing. Here's Mendenhall again. He's brought down by Chris Houston. There's a flag on the play. There's a holding penalty against the Cardinals.
Okay.
Hey, let's bring in Molly McGrath down on the field. Molly.
Thanks, Sam. A lot of adjectives were used by Cardinals players to describe their head coach, Bruce Arians, from loyal to accountable to demanding. But one of my favorites was from Larry Fitzgerald, who compared him to a mad scientist. Not because he's crazy, but because he's willing to try anything on offense. He said that Arians tests out multiple schemes and formulas and puts players in positions to succeed.
Good point. Thanks, Molly. The ball back to the 38-yard line. Second and 20. Andre Roberts motions. Cardinals with 3 wide receivers. Palmer completes it to Michael Floyd up to the 44-yard line. Bill Bentley covering on the play for the Lions, a gain of 6.
This is where, with Larry Fitzgerald, sometimes it's almost easier. Call it stealing. You have this little bunch formation. Andre Roberts had just gone in motion. You're going to see the attention. Larry kind of drags this defense. Stephen Tulloch sits underneath, but Michael Floyd, that big body. Between him and Larry, these are big wide receivers, easy targets for Carson Palmer.
And the 3 wide receivers line up left. Now Roberts motions. On 2nd and 14. Palmer gets time, completes to Andre Roberts. Down to the Lions' 44-yard line.
Well, and this is what Jim Schwartz was talking about yesterday. They want to be timely in their blitz game. You're going to see pressure here, pressure here. Jim said, you know what, we have to be balanced in this act. Yes, we need to hit Carson Palmer, but we almost hurt our defensive front four when we pressure because we squeeze them in a lane they can't use all their athleticism.
Lions haven't gotten to Carson Palmer thus far.
No, which speaks volumes about some of the things they were able to correct from last week versus St. Louis. Sacked early and often in that St. Louis game. 3rd
and 2, Alfonso Smith in at running back for the Cardinals. Palmer goes to Jim Dre, the tight end. He's out of bounds right at the first down marker. It's ruled a catch, but I think he's going to be a little short, maybe a yard short.
You know what, I think it's a good spot. You know, Jim Dre just was not able to position his body. This is a great job right here. You talk about the ability by Bill Bentley to position his body, get in front, and to get Jim Dre out of bounds before he could get that ball upfield.
Pete Morelli over at the sideline as the officials check out the spot. Now they're bringing the chains from the opposite side. Looked to me like they were a little short. Good job by Bentley.
Sure is.
The Cardinals still without Rob Hausler, who will be a very important part of their offense, a real good receiving tight end. He's still out with an ankle injury.
Well, and Larry Fitzgerald, I'm not sure he could have spoken any more highly about Rob. Rob's a big athlete. He is a legitimate, a 4.4 40 guy that can really streak down the field. Larry talked about his ability to make tough catches, allow Carson to do the back shoulder throws, some of the things that we see out of a Brady and a Rob Gronkowski or Breeze and Jimmy Graham.
They'll mark it well short of the first down. The interesting call here. But I thought that Bruce Arians might think about going for it, but instead, on 4th and about a yard, Dave Zastudil is out for his second punt of the game. Zastudil, who set an NFL record for most punts inside the 20-yard line last season, 46. There's the good leg. And a good directional kicker. Michael Spurlock is back at his own 7-yard line for the Lions. Zastudil puts it up, end over end. Fair catch called for by Spurlock at around the 7-yard line. Bill Bentley with a strong defensive play kept the Cardinals from getting a first down.
Today's game is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's, never stop improving. By Lexus, introducing a car designed with one purpose, to stand apart. The all-new 2014 Lexus IS. And by Microsoft Surface. Click in and do more.
And for those of us, for those of you out there who are watching New Orleans and Tampa, they're still in a lightning delay, and we're glad you're with us. And as soon as the weather clears down in Tampa, we'll get you back to that game, New Orleans and Tampa Bay. Right here, no score in the game. Lions start from their own 7-yard line. Matthew Stafford took very little time off in the offseason to get himself ready for this season and a bounce-back year. Quick outside drop. Nate Burleson.
I think
Nate Powers was there.
I think Nate got a little happy on that one, partner. He saw man defense. He saw a blitz from Arizona's defense. He knew if he beat the one defender, this was over. Nate Burleson, you see the motion. Gerard Powers in man coverage. Matthew sees the blitz, gets the ball out quick. Nate knows, I beat the one man. We're off to the races.
Stafford 8 for 11, 64 yards. Megatron, Calvin Johnson, 1 catch against Patrick Peterson for 9 yards.
He was quiet last week. More difficult challenge this week facing Patrick Peterson.
And off inside, Reggie Bush takes it outside. And a good job by the Cardinals to keep him from turning the corner. Darnell Dockett gets in for the tackle. As we wind down to the final seconds of the first quarter, good job by the Cardinals stretching that play out. Gain of 3.
And this is one where this is Reggie Bush at his finest. You know, he finds a way to make 3 different defenders miss, sets up a few blocks. But Reggie's got to continue to manage these carries, not give up those negative runs.
2 good offensive teams.
0-0.
Pretty good defense for both teams as well. Lions, Cardinals, no score in the game. End of the first quarter. Defense is geared to shut down superstar receivers. Larry Fitzgerald, Calvin Johnson, just 1 catch each in the game.
Well, and Calvin was a bit quiet last week. We'll see how he picks it up the rest of this game here in week 2.
3rd and 7 for the Lions. With 3 wide receivers. Stafford sends everybody out, has time. Nobody open, and they've got him. Drop for a loss back to the 4-yard line. Calais Campbell with the sack.
Well, here's our matchup right here, mano-a-mano. Patrick Peterson, there is no help. Calvin dips inside, he's right in his hip pocket. This is the sack, this is the pressure, this is the way you get. These back ends of the DBs are tied to the front end. You get pressure on Stafford, they all help each other out.
First time this season that Matthew Stafford has been sacked. He was kept upright last week. Sam Martin with a punt. Patrick Peterson toward the sideline, carried out of bounds. That's one thing Sam Martin worked on all week. Directional kicking, high punts, keep it tough for Patrick Peterson to return.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Pizza Hut. Make it great. By Bose, the official home audio sponsor of the NFL. And by Rush from director Ron Howard and based on the incredible true story. Rush in theaters September 27th.
Back here in Arizona, that was also the first sack of the season for the Arizona Cardinals. Calais Campbell getting to Matthew Stafford.
No, that makes Todd Bowles happy.
Man with the long arms, Calais Campbell, getting there. Now the Cardinals with good field position and start from their own 48.
And Patrick Peterson in there in the slot on offense, number 21.
First time of the game, he was in there for 3 plays last season. He goes deep. Palmer throws short to Rashard Mendenhall. Nice move. And Mendenhall gets down to the 32-yard line. DeAndre Levy with a stop, a gain of 20 on the play.
As Molly mentioned, the mad scientist. You know, Bruce Arians dialing up. Here's the thing. You got Patrick Peterson. All he's doing, he is going to clear out. You're going to see Rashard Mendenhall slip out of the back. He's going to slip out of the backfield. You watch the creation of space, all because of one man, the fear factor that Patrick Peterson creates because of the speed, the ball skills, everything that he brings to the table.
He has so much to do to cover Calvin Johnson. They bring him on to be a decoy.
Well, they got to keep his legs warm.
There you go. A timeout for the Cardinals. They have a first down at the Lions' 32-yard line. No score in the game. And to the sideline comes Carson Palmer to talk things over. Check out Fox Sports Live tonight. Join Jay Onrait and Dan O'Toole. They'll recap all of the day's action in the NFL and the rest of the sports world, too. Don't miss Fox Sports Live tonight, 11 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1. To find Fox Sports 1 on your provider, go to foxsports1.com now.
Well, we saw Patrick Peterson's first display of offensive talent. He was the big decoy that set up a big screen pass to Rashard Mendenhall.
2 backs in the lineup. Andre Ellington, a rookie. And the handoff to Ellington. He's brought down for a loss. Time for an update from Joel Klatt back in L.A. Joel.
A quick update for those waiting on the Saints and Buccaneers. The NFL said that this weather delay due to lightning will last only about another 25 minutes. Get you back to Tampa when they get back on the field. Sam and Heath.
Some bad weather down in Tampa. Back here in Arizona, indoors. A loss of 3 on that last play. On 2nd and 13, Palmer completes to Larry Fitzgerald, but they stop the play. Encroachment perhaps on Ndamukong Suh.
False start. Number 73, offense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Let's go back 2 plays. This is the Bruce Arians effect. You're going to see Michael Floyd motioning. I want you to see the block that he puts on Jason Jones. This is a lost yardage play. The run's nothing, but Bruce Arians has gotten everyone to buy into this physical presence, this physical brand of football that he knows will set this team up to succeed down the road.
What a job by Ndamukong Suh to get in there so quickly.
Listen, there's not much you can do with him. The instincts, the speed, his alertness. This guy is truly growing as a player.
Ball back at the 40. Palmer goes outside quickly to Andre Roberts. Roberts gets inside the 30. Excuse me, that's Jerron Brown, the rookie out of Clemson. We've got a lot going on. Another update from Joel Klatt. Joel, take it away.
That's right, Sam. A busy day back here in Houston on the first drive of overtime. Matt Schaub finds the rookie from Clemson, DeAndre Hopkins, his first touchdown in the NFL. Houston winners 30-24. Sam.
We've had plenty of exciting finishes today.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have.
Here's 3rd and 7 for the Cardinals at the 29-yard line. They pick up the blitz. Palmer goes deep, and the play is broken up. Try to hit Michael Floyd. Great play by Chris Houston.
Chris Houston, the wily vet, positions his body you're going to see the matchup right here. Michael Floyd, a big wide receiver, as we've already spoken about. The little shake off the line, but you watch Chris Houston kind of start leveling his body back, squeezing that sideline, making that throw as well as the catch that much more difficult.
Field goal try for Jay Feely. This will be from 47 yards out. Mike Leach is the long snapper. The holder, Dave Zastadil, and the kick is good. Carson Palmer started it with good field position, but the drive stalled. Jay Feely puts the Cardinals on the board. It's 3-0.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by the 2013 Ford F-150 with EcoBoost.
Our first score of the game here in the second quarter, a Jay Feely 47-yarder. He was 1 for 2 last week. Missed a 50-yarder that they felt was makeable inside the dome in St. Louis. But he bounced back. Feely had a terrific year last year for the Cardinals. Michael Spurlock is deep.
Well, Cardinals will take their 3-point, but we see the frustration in Carson Palmer on the sidelines. Bruce Arians told us yesterday, we are going to force teams to kick field goals, but bottom line is we don't want to be kicking field goals. And so you see the obvious frustration between Carson Palmer, Bruce Arians. Listen, the mad scientist on offense, he wants 6 points, not 3.
Feely tees it up again. Michael Spurlock is deep for the Lions. And this one's a low line drive. And Spurlock takes on a couple of bounces. Started to come out, decided against it. And it's ruled a touchback. Whoa. Fans here wanted a rule that he came out of the end zone. He tiptoed the line.
And here's a pretty tight copy. Spurlock hesitates, which is the first mistake. That left toe and that right heel, it might be close, Sam. This is one that I think they're going to have to take a moment to look at to make sure they get right.
Fourth possession of the game for the Lions. They've had 2 3-and-outs and a 13-play drive that ended in a missed field goal. That pass is complete to Calvin Johnson, his second catch of the game. It's up to the 32 for a first down.
Well, it's really, we see the toe and potentially the heel. The ball, the way the rule states, that ball has to cross the white line. So Spurlock obviously keeps the ball clear of the goal line. Good call by our officials.
Always, where is the ball? That's the big question. From the 32. Bush slips as he tried to make a cut. And a loss back to the 28-yard line. Jeremiah Bell was in to cover him up.
Well, and you see big Jeremiah Bell. This is a big old safety. But Reggie Bush, from the side, you could really see the Arizona Cardinals defensive line resetting the line of scrimmage. Detroit did not get off the ball, was not able to give Reggie the vision as well as the depth in the backfield that he needs to make his appropriate cut.
2nd and 14 for the Lions. Now Reggie Bush splits out into the slot. Empty backfield for Matthew Stafford. As time throws it, completes to Calvin Johnson, who breaks away. Here's the race for the end zone, and Calvin Johnson goes in.
This is an amazing play. Calvin Johnson is going to be on your inside of the formation, moving him all around. But what we can't appreciate from this angle is the throw. The tight window. Look at Carlos Dansby break in front of that ball. Matthew Stafford zips it in there to Calvin. And I mean very few quarterbacks in this business have the arm strength, the timing, the rhythm with the relationship with their wide receiver to make that play.
There is Calvin Johnson at his best. Big, strong, and then fast. Is he ever fast?
This is where Todd Bowles, you have the right defense called, the right position. You just got beat by a great quarterback and a great wide receiver.
The Lions take the lead. 72-yard touchdown pass. Matthew Stafford to Calvin Johnson. Lions had 71 yards on their 3 possessions before this last one. That was a 72-yard touchdown play.
Well, and it was a beauty by the Lions, but Todd Bowles, the defensive coordinator for Arizona, has got to be frustrated. You have the perfect call on, and it's literally just Calvin Johnson and Matthew Stafford beating you.
Larry Fitzgerald of Arizona says Calvin Johnson is the best receiver in the NFL.
That's
You
a
saw
lot of
it right
praise
there.
from potentially the best wide receiver in the NFL.
A kickoff by Sam Martin through the end zone.
Here's our touchdown. You're going to see Calvin very skinny, but I want you to watch a couple things here. You're going to see Carlos Dansby try to jump in front of this, and it gets, I mean, it is nearly picked off. And then you're going to see Patrick Peterson. I'm going to freeze it here. You watch Patrick Peterson, his eyes are now here. He thinks Carlos Dansby has picked this ball off. You see his feet settle, and then it's too late. Tony Jefferson, your rookie safety, just a little bit out of position or not, you're not catching Calvin Johnson. Just the beautiful placement of the ball by Matthew Stafford as well. That back shoulder.
Cardinals start from the 20-yard line. Richard Mendenhall bursts through. Good run by Mendenhall as he rips off 11 yards. Bill Bentley on the tackle.
This was one of those veteran guys that Bruce Arians was persistent on getting here in-house. He knew him from his days in Pittsburgh. He knew the physical presence. You know, Bruce Arians, every word out of his mouth was, we want to be a physically dominant team. Richard was the back he wanted. You saw the offensive line created a gash of a hole.
Nice start to the game for Richard Mendenhall. 3 carries, 23 yards from the 31. Mendenhall again. Not much of an opening there. Uses his power to pick up a couple of yards up to the 33.
This was another one of those little quick-hitting run plays that Bruce wants to run. They were a staple in Pittsburgh. We saw it last year in Indianapolis. But when you're facing this fast, athletic defensive line of Detroit, these defensive linemen, they are just so fast and penetrating. It's hard. We saw C.J. Mosley burst through. Bannon there in your screen as well. They just get upfield so quick. It's hard for these guards and tackles to get around and get on them.
Rookie out of Clemson, Andre Ellington, number 38, is in. Mendenhall splits out. Palmer with pressure gets it to Mendenhall. Very close to the first down line. Gain of 8 on the play. Palmer with a good job standing in under pressure.
Yes. And it's hard to find a back that you feel really comfortable on 3 downs. You know, here's Carson. He's going to stand in here. You see Mosley, you see Bannon, you see the pressure from the outside. But again, Richard finds that place, that window to sit down, gives Carson his shoulder, easy pitch and catch.
First down at the 41-yard line. Alfonso Smith in at running back for the Cardinals. 3 wide receivers in. It's Smith. He's tripped up. Gets a yard on the play up to the 42. Over Quinn with a tackle. Richard Mendenhall, we mentioned, his carries 4 for 25. He's also caught 2 passes for 28 yards.
Well, and Richard has a lot of young talent in that backfield as well. Stump Mitchell, the former Arizona Cardinal, now the running back coach here. You know, they love Alfonso Smith, Stephon Taylor, Andre Ellington, all bring their little knack to this offensive pot.
2nd and 9. Palmer being blitzed from the outside. They pick it up. He lofts it to Larry Fitzgerald, and he's out of bounds inside the 40 at the 36-yard line. Nice pass by Carson Palmer.
Well, again, Gunther Cunningham and Jim Schwartz, they dial up pressure. You're going to see the pressure coming from all over the place. Again, it's 5, but they said they needed to be timely. Larry Fitzgerald slips out. Big catch, easy throw for Carson Palmer. He was patient, letting the blitz get picked up by his offensive lineman and his back. You just can't let Larry and Carson have that much time to hook up.
Carson Palmer 8 for 12, 85 yards. First down at the Lions 36. Palmer with time. And he's got a wide open Andre Ellington. Touchdown Cardinals.
And Andre Ellington was the one that stumped Mitchell, the running back coach I was just talking about, talked to me yesterday about. Here you go, Andre Ellington. You're going to see him kind of lined up as a fullback position. Obviously, weight, stature, he's not. Detroit just loses him out of the backfield. You saw the linebacker get picked up. I think that was Levy. He got picked off in the rub route. and then your fast, young, athletic running back. Easy strike for Carson Palmer.
Again, Bruce Arians using all his talent. They had the running backs. They brought in Rashard Mendenhall. They drafted 2 running backs. They drafted Stephon Taylor. They drafted Andre Ellington. Ellington with his first NFL touchdown on the pass from Carson Palmer. Cardinals lead it 10-7. Earlier in the game, Carson Palmer was upset because he didn't connect. This time, there's some happiness. He did connect with Andre Ellington.
There's almost a smile on his face that time. That's the consummate pro that, listen, he's not happy with field goals. He's not happy with 3 and outs. He wants those touchdown strikes all day, every day.
What a moment for Andre Ellington, the rookie out of Clemson. Jay Feely with a kickoff. Michael Spurlock, 8 yards deep, brings it out. Spurlock finds a lane. There's a flag on the play. Good return across the 25. Feely was in on the stop, along with Sam Acho. And we'll check out the flag down at the 16-yard line.
During a return, holding. Number 24, the receiving team. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
That's to John Gomes on the holding call. We go to Joel Klatt for an update. Joel, what's happening?
Let's go to New York, Manning Bowl 3, and yes, Denver can rush for a touchdown. That's Noshawn Moreno, his first of the season. Big brother up on little brother, 7-3. Sam, back to you.
The Manning Bowl at the Meadowlands. Eli and Peyton hooking up. Now the Lions start at the 7.5-yard line.
Another penalty. One of those things that Jim Schwartz wants to eliminate.
Deep in their own territory, Reggie Bush up to the 10-yard line. Ronald Talley, number 96, lost his helmet but made the tackle.
Calvin Johnson, Patrick Peterson, we talked in the open. This is a heavyweight matchup. Patrick Peterson, hey, this guy's big and physical. We just saw a few minutes ago the big touchdown from Calvin. This is the one that the whole world should be watching today. 2 of the best going at it.
It's interesting. Patrick Peterson's only in his 3rd year now. There's the big one for Calvin. He wins that battle. But already you're hearing other teams refer to Patrick Peterson as maybe the best cornerback in the league.
I agree. And watching him in practice, watching the game tape, he is up there with all of them.
Stafford connects with Nate Burleson for the 14-yard line. Pick up a 4 short of the first down. Patrick Peterson on the stop on Nate Burleson.
They are so happy to have Nate happy and healthy. Last year, he is not only a presence on the field, but he is the emotional leader. Calvin Johnson is quiet. Brandon Pettigrew, quiet. Matthew Stafford, more of a quiet nature. Nate is that guy that gets this offense fired up, ready to go down in and down out.
Big 3rd down play. 3rd and 3. Chris Durham in as a 3rd wide receiver. Empty backfield. They rush 4. The pass to Bush. Big completion to Reggie Bush. He breaks 1 tackle. Goes down to at the 41-yard line. What a weapon, but now an injury. And Reggie hurt on the play is holding his left leg.
Sam, this is one that hurts me personally. You know, last week he hyperextended one of his knees as well, and you see right here Jefferson, the rookie safety, flying in. It almost looks like he buckles a little bit there as well. Just one of those tough hits. Reggie in space is a nightmare to tackle. Jefferson coming in, trying to make a play.
And a clean play. Good tackle by Jefferson.
Listen, when it's Reggie Bush, you're trying to tackle in the open field. You're doing everything and anything you can to get him down.
A gain of 26 on the play, but now the star running back of the Lions shaken up.
Well, this is the weapon that Reggie Bush is. This is why they wanted to get him in Detroit. You got Reggie in the slot. You're going to see the best attempt for Jeremiah Bell, their safety, to cover Reggie Bush in space. This is not a fair matchup. You got to pick your poison at times, but you see Matthew Stafford. His eyes never left Reggie Bush. He saw the pre-snap alignment of the safeties. After the play, Reggie a little nicked up. We mentioned that, Sam, he had tweaked that knee a little bit last week. Seems like he was just hit by Jefferson, the safety, again, right at the end of the play. Walked off with a slight limp. We'll see what the report is on Reggie.
Doctors checking him out on the Lions sideline after a 26-yard pickup. First down, Lions at the 41. Joyke Bell, who is more than an adequate backup,
Absolutely,
is in the backfield. 3 wide receivers. It's Joyke Bell, and they stack him up short of the line of scrimmage. A loss of 2 on the play. Good rush up front, led by the nose tackle, Dan Williams.
Well, I know Todd Bowles, Bruce Arians are happy about this. We always talk about in the run game, reestablishing the line of scrimmage. I mean, you're going to see these linemen, they're all getting pushed back into the back of Joyke Bell. You see Jeremiah Bell filling the hole there from the safety spot. And again, there is all this penetration in running back space. There's just nowhere to go.
Second down for the Lions. Stafford sends everybody out, throws short. Joyke Bell ran ahead of his blocker, but gets up to the 48-yard line. Matthew Stafford now 13 for 16.
This is one of the better screen teams, especially with the addition of Reggie Bush. This is what they want to do. Reggie steps out, Joyke Bell comes in. A little slip screen to the left. Joyke started on the right side of Matthew Stafford, slides back across the formation. Calais Campbell almost made a great play on it, just a little too late.
Here's 3rd and 3 for the Lions. Bell in the backfield with Stafford. 3 wide receivers in, everybody out. Stafford to Burleson. First down, Lions at the 46-yard line.
Well,
great throw by Stafford.
Mr. Consistency. They call him the emotional leader. You see Nate, it's very simple. He's just going to slip inside. Again, you watch Matthew's eyes. They're not leaving him. He knows where he's going. He sees the pre-snap coverage on Calvin. He knows the play, the spacing of the defense. Tyrann Mathieu's right there. That is a bang-bang catch hit. Jeremiah Bell cleaning up the action at the end.
Burleson, who had 8 catches last week, 4 catches today, 24 yards. First down, just short of the 45. Joyke Bell, there's room, and he turns the corner. Good run by Bell, still going. Down to the 25-yard line.
I know Jim Schwartz is going to be really excited about this. Riley Reef right here. You are going to watch this key block. Again, we talked about just the physical presence of this game. You see Riley pushes out John Abraham. You see Dominic Raiola, your center. This is one of the, I think, the prides of the Detroit Lions. Dominic Raiola, he's been through all these tough years. He's kept grinding, kept fighting. Key block on that.
Bell, 2 carries, 18 yards. That was a 20-yard gain. Lions first down at the Cardinals 25-yard line. Jumping across was Frosty Rucker, and they stopped the play.
Defense, encroachment, number 98. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's on Frosty Rucker, the former Cleveland Brown, former USC star. Signed as a free agent here by the Cardinals. Just under 3 minutes remaining. We're getting word from Tampa that the Tampa Bay Bucks New Orleans Saints game will resume at 5:25 Eastern time. So about 10 minutes. They will resume that game. Here's Stafford. Putting it up deep for Calvin Johnson. He dropped it. There's a flag on the play. They're looking at Patrick Peterson. Let's see what the call will be.
Again, this is our matchup. This is what everyone's watching this game. It's one-on-one. You're going to see Calvin. He gives him the little double move. Patrick gets caught grabbing a little bit, and that's the defensive holding penalty that was called. Truly, this still should have been a touchdown. We've seen Calvin make that play so many times.
But he was held.
He was held. We'll give him a break.
First down at the 15. Stafford has hit his last 6 for 119 yards. First down, Lions. Cardinals have taken 5 penalties here in the first half. Empty backfield. 3 receivers left. Stafford goes right, and it's batted down. We go down to the field. Molly McGrath. Molly, what's happening?
Thanks, Sam. Trainers were working on Reggie Bush. They're asking him if he was in pain with that left knee, straightening it and bending it. He waved off their asking. He said that he looked like he was doing okay. He was fine, and he's running back and forth, hopping up and down. They just put a brace on his knee, and he is listed as questionable to return, but he looks okay to me.
Thanks, Molly. I'll go with Molly's opinion on that.
Dr. Molly McGrath. That's a huge asset to lose Reggie for this game. Good thing is halftime adjustments. If he is not able to come back in, you can reestablish your thoughts for the second half.
On 2nd and 10, quick to Nate Burleson inside the 5. A first down at the 3-yard line. A gain of 12 on the play.
You know what? Here's your bunch set again, and here's just the veteran knowledge of Nate. You're going to see him kind of time this up. We sped it up a little too much. The patience, his understanding how he set up the man defender, jumps inside, uses his tight end to kind of screen his defender. That's the beauty of having a Nate Burleson.
We've hit the 2-minute warning, and the Lions threatening to regain the lead. It's 10-7 Arizona. Lions first and goal at the 3-yard line. Working out of the shotgun is Matthew Stafford. Joyke Bell is the running back. Blitz coming. The pass to Calvin Johnson. He's got it. Touchdown. His second of the game.
Well, you've got the man-on-man matchup again. This one's a little bit fair to Patrick Peterson because he has to, bubble over the top. I mean, you see the alignments here, but you watch the rub. Nate Burleson forces Patrick Peterson to rub over the top of that route. It just forces Patrick Peterson out of position to really be able to compete for that throw. Great play design by Scott Lanahan, knowing what Todd Bowles wants to do in that tight red zone.
We're raving about the wide receivers, and of course Calvin Johnson. Matthew Stafford is having himself quite a game. 16 for 20, 210 yards, and two touchdown passes in the first half. The Lions with a 96-yard. Johnson with 4 catches, 96 yards in the game.
Again, you're going to see Calvin here. You're going to get Nate to come in here and kind of it's called a rub route. It's not a pick, but then you see Calvin get up and around, and you see Patrick Peterson in that one-on-one battle having to kind of shield, bubble around the top of that rub, not a pick, Sam, that rub by Nate Burleson. Again, you know what? This is what you love about Scott Lanahan, the OC. You diagnose, you dream up all week long. How do we attack Todd Bowles? How do we attack Patrick Peterson? How do we get our advantage here in the red zone? Great play design. Great job by Stafford.
Look at that drive. That started at the 7.5-yard line. 10 plays, 92 yards. Stafford was 6 for 7. And there's Calvin Johnson with a big touchdown grab. 4 catches, 96 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Calvin Johnson. In that battle with Patrick Peterson, of course, the 72-yarder, the big one that he exploded on.
So Reggie Bush got that drive going with that big play earlier, the one that he actually got dinged on the knee. We'll still have to kind of wait on our update to see if Reggie Bush is able to come back into this game.
See if Dr. Molly is right, that he looks okay. Sam Martin's kickoff through the end zone for the touchback. Time for an update. Let's go to L.A. to Joel Klatt.
All right, guys, and officially 5 minutes from now, the Saints and Bucks will get restarted. Saints up 3-0 in that one. Drew Brees getting some practice in. Sam, back to you.
Carson Palmer ready to go. Drew Brees looks like he's ready to go in Tampa.
I know Drew well enough
that
to
long
know.
delay.
He's angry at the weather right now.
We will see Drew Brees take on these Arizona Cardinals next week in New Orleans. Alfonso Smith, the running back, split out as Carson Palmer works out of an empty backfield. Everybody out. He has time and he throws, completes to Andre Roberts up to the 38-yard line. Spotted at the 39. Here's the hurry-up offense. A gain of 19 on the last play.
Great job. Great job by Andre Roberts. Really feeling that zone, sitting down where Carson needed to. Good strike by number 3, Carson Palmer.
They pick up the blitz. There's a screen pass for Alfonso Smith. He picked up the blitz, then caught the pass out of the backfield. And a gain of 5 on the play. The Cardinals have 2 timeouts remaining. At the 44. Palmer with time, and the pass broken up. Rasheed Mathis, the veteran cornerback who stepped in the 4th quarter last week and did an excellent job against Minnesota, has been in earlier in the game and has made a couple of good plays.
Well, and Rasheed, who they call coach, might have got, you know what, the contact from that angle. Andre Roberts obviously wanted that call, but it looked more like a bang-bang action. Carson stared that one down a little too long. The old wily vet, Rasheed Mathis, eyes in the backfield, studying the quarterback. Where's he going with the ball?
Here's 3rd and 5.
This is not the 3rd down rate that Bruce Arians wants out of this offense. 0 for 3 on 3rd downs in the first half. Unacceptable.
4 wide receivers in the game. Palmer, and the whistles blow. They stop the play. Looks like delay of the game.
Delay of game. Offense, 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
Ooh, that's a surprise.
These are the ones that hurt you. Most of the time, veteran quarterback, you avoid these. Bruce Arians specifically talked about 2 minutes before halftime and 2 minutes at the end of the game, how important they are to sealing victories.
There's a factor also. Cardinals 6 penalties here in the first half. Back at the 39. It's 3rd and 10 for the Cardinals. With 4 wide receivers in the game. Palmer gets time, and his pass is incomplete. Tried to get it to Jerron Brown, the rookie out of Clemson, but missed it. And the Cardinals forced a punt. Good job on the Lions after the initial completion. The Lions do a good job, and Dave Zastudil in the punt.
Despite not picking up the first down, considering the offensive line struggles that Arizona had last week versus St. Louis, this offensive line for the Cardinals has done a very good job today of protecting Carson Palmer for the most part.
Long kick. Spurlock from the 14. On the return, he's upended. Bethel with the tackle. Justin Bethel, real good tackle on special teams. Spurlock gets a couple of yards as they fight for the ball. We go back to L.A. and check in with Kurt Menefee. Kurt.
Coming up on the Visa Halftime, we'll update you on the Manning Bowl in New York. Plus, 4 fantastic finishes from the early games. See how it all went down on a crazy week 2 in the NFL on the Visa Halftime.
Thanks, Kurt. We'll look forward to that. Guys are busy, a lot of action, great action in the NFL today. The Lions start from the 21-yard line.
With 3 timeouts, Sam.
Okay.
53 seconds. A lot of time for this offense to make some splash plays, add some points to the board.
And who's in the backfield? Reggie Bush. Dr. McGrath was right. Here's Reggie on the carry. Doesn't get much.
Here's the key ingredient. You know, how does he get back up? How does he walk back to the huddle? Is there a favor in or a limp or something that would say, he's trying to tough through it? You can see you can see the fold on the brace on his knee. He's added a little stability to it. This kid's a tough kid. Was able to play with him for a couple years in New Orleans. Good to see him fighting through it.
Total yardage for Reggie Bush in the game, 62 yards. 8 carries, 18 yards rushing, 44 yards receiving.
A 30-second timeout.
Lions use a timeout, down to 2. Let's check out what's happening down on the field and go back to Molly McGrath. Molly.
Thanks, Sam. Detroit's offensive coordinator Scott Linehan said that he saw Matt Stafford working out so much this offseason. He asked him if he had a hobby, and Stafford replied, yeah, football. When he was asked about his offseason yesterday, he said that he gave himself only 5 days off, then he went back to work. He said his main motivation was Detroit's 4-12 record last season and his determination to never let that happen again. Sam?
Good point. The Lions were miserable after last season. They started off, it just fell apart with injuries and penalties, and they hit a low point in the game here in Arizona. They lost 38-10 to the Cardinals. 2nd and 10. Joyce Bell takes it outside, and a good play by Tyrann Mathieu. That little defensive back who had problems off the field and did not play his last year at LSU, was a third-round draft pick, and he's done a good job. We've reached halftime in a back-and-forth game. The Lions lead the Arizona Cardinals 14-10. We go to the studio to Kurt Menefee. Back in Arizona, getting set for the start of the second half. Sam Rosen along with Heath Evans. And how about that first half? What are your thoughts?
Well, you got two quarterbacks playing extremely well, but Calvin Johnson, the matchup between him and Patrick Peterson, Calvin Johnson's getting the best of it right now. 2 touchdowns, big game going so far.
What do you look for in the second half? Either team change anything much?
Well, I hope after Bruce Arians goes in at halftime, he'll realize we've only run the ball 6 times. Yes, Carson Palmer's playing extremely well, but we heard all weekend balanced, physical run game. I think we need more of that. Settle in on this Detroit defense. Give Carson an opportunity to win this ball game.
Heath, follow your favorite team all season long. Go to iTunes.com/NFL. The Cardinals will receive the kickoff to start the second half. Sam Martin will tee it up. That surprised you that the teams haven't run the ball more?
Definitely with Arizona, not so much with Detroit. I know Scott Linehan, the offensive coordinator for Detroit, wants to be more balanced, but you've got Calvin Johnson and Nate Burleson and Brandon Pettigrew and Reggie Bush and Matthew Stafford at the helm. I think it's hard to take the ball out of Matthew's hands at times.
Martin with a strong leg and the deep kick. And Arenas has to go over his head for the touchback. Let's check in with Molly McGrath. Molly.
Thanks, Sam. Jim Schwartz said that he's not concerned with Reggie Bush's banged-up knee, as he called it, because they have so many other offensive threats like Calvin Johnson in the game. And Bruce Arians said that Calvin Johnson is absolutely lethal on offense. He said that Patrick Peterson-Johnson matchup, that going on there, he said that it's solid, but Peterson needs a little bit more help on the outside, and they need to get to that quarterback. Sam?
Thanks, Molly. Cardinals from the 20. Carson Palmer, the quarterback.
190.
Short Mendenhall, the running back. And Mendenhall, who had a good average running, 4 carries, 25 yards in the first half, didn't get the ball all that much. The pickup of 2. Chris Houston with a stop.
Larry Fitzgerald, the selfless, humble superstar that he is, he motions back inside that one. He's acting as your fullback on that play for Rashard Mendenhall, leading up in there, trying to create space.
I think the Cardinals' interior of the offensive line, Lyle Sedline, the center, Paul Faneca, and Darren College, the guards, have done a good job inside. Carson's
been protected well today. Levi Brown bouncing back well from last week's tough struggles there in St. Louis.
There's Andre Ellington, and the rookie who scored his first NFL touchdown on a pass reception in the first half with a good run up to the 32, a first down. He picked up 10.
Well, and this is what we were talking about. We wanted to see more balance, more run. You're going to see control of the defensive front. You let Jason Jones get up the field, and then you get Andre Ellington out in space. Good move on Chris Houston. Good finish of the run. You love to see a young back setting up blockers down the field. That's what we're able to see right there at 38, Andre Ellington.
Andre Ellington with his first carry in the NFL. It's a good one. Carson Palmer throws that one away. Big pressure that time from Ndamukong Suh and Willie Young.
Not sure what was trying to develop there. It almost looked like he intentionally threw it in the dirt. You had Jim Dre about 5 yards further down the field.
There's no foul for intentional grounding as a receiver in the area. Second down.
All right, Pete Morelli explains what the flag was all about. They picked it up.
Well, you see Suh real quick beat Paul Faneca. Listen, Suh is a battle for the best guards in this business. Paul Faneca has done a good job today handling that for the most part.
Faneca starting at guard because Jonathan Cooper, their first-round draft pick, was injured and is out for the season. That pass to Jim Dre, the tight end, a good tackle on the play as he's brought down by Rasheed Mathis. Gain of 4 on the play, up to the 36-yard line.
Jim Dre's done a great job of really kind of finding his way into this offense. He's been put in positions that Rob Hausler should be doing. Jim is your possession receiver. He's a good blocker, wants to do the dirty work. You saw last week, this week as well. Because of the injury to Rob Hausler, he's done a nice job for this football team.
Patrick Peterson in for his second play on offense in the game. Out to the right side. Everybody out on third down. Pressure on Palmer, and it's dropped by Larry Fitzgerald. Palmer was hit as he threw by Ziggy Ansah, the first-round draft pick of the Detroit Lions.
Well, you're going to see Levi Brown right here. Here's Ziggy Ansah, your rookie. It looks like that left side just kind of gives way. Jason Jones swims inside over Darren College. A lot of pressure in Carson's face. That's one thing that we haven't seen a lot of in the first half.
Carson Palmer has not been sacked in the game, but he took the hit there. Dave Zastudil with a punt. Long punt. Spurlock back to the 11-yard line. Looking for some room. And the Cardinals are there, and they trip him up at the 6. Outstanding coverage. Alphonso Smith, the running back, makes the tackle. 52-yard punt, -6 on the return.
And we see Sue getting a little chippy. Larry Fitzgerald, where's this matchup going today?
This game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By Chevrolet. Check out the all-new Chevy Silverado at the Silverado vs. All event. By Miller Lite. It's not just a good time, it's Miller time. And by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you've got to get DirecTV.
Lions start from their own 6-yard line. Third time in the game they've started inside their own 10. Reggie Bush squirms through and gets up to the 12-yard line. Gain of about 6. Lions had 232 yards total offense in the first half. Just 27 yards rushing.
Well, and Reggie started the game out. His first 4 carries, I think, were for 21 or 22 yards. Good balance, a few negative runs, which obviously Scott Lanahan and Jim Schwartz want them to manage those negative situational runs. But, you know, this offensive line has done a good job. You talk about Calais Campbell, Darnell Dockett. They've got their hands full today.
Even though they've started deep in their own territory, they had one 92-yard drive for a touchdown. Off the fake, the ball dropped by Reggie Bush. It's still loose. Looks like the Cardinals have it. Calais Campbell with a fumble recovery.
Here's where this offense, you get a little tricky. You're going to see Reggie Bush start this way and then come back. Matthew Stafford makes the pitch, and then there's just some type, it almost overextended through Reggie Bush's pocket. You see it hit the left bicep of Reggie. You know, listen, well, Reggie's arm, we see more clearly there. Reggie never got that arm up. Matthew had the ball where it needed to be. These are the game-changing situations. Let's see how Jim Schwartz and this defense, who's played well all day, how they respond.
First turnover of the game. Cardinals first and goal at the Lions 7-yard line. 3 wide receivers in. Richard Mendenhall, the running back. It's Mendenhall to the 5. Israel Adonijah, the former Chicago Bear, made the tackle. A lot of depth on that defensive line for the Lions.
Yes.
They rotate some quality players. They're going without Nick Fairley, who had the shoulder injury. C.J. Mosley, Justin Bannon, Willie Young, Israel Adonijah. They rotate them all in. Second and goal, Cardinals at the 5. 2 tight ends in. The play fake. Palmer looking, throwing. It's tipped away. Outstanding play by Chris Houston.
Great understanding of Chris Houston, really undercutting this, knowing that, you know what, there's just not enough space for Carson to lob this ball in. Carson had to put it on a rope. Chris was able to undercut it right there in front of Michael Floyd. You see the veteran play. You see the mentality of the guy understanding what a quarterback can and can't do.
Here's third and goal for the Cardinals at the 5. 4 wide receivers in, 3 to the left side. They've got the running back Ellington split out as well. The rush is on, and the flags go down. Oof. Ziggy Ansah came flying in almost untouched.
False start. Number 15 offense. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Michael Floyd, the wide receiver. That moves the Cardinals back to the 10-yard line. Their 7th penalty of the game.
You see Michael, he's just going to get a little bit of antsy feet right here before it is bang, bang play, but definitely a good call by the officials.
Beware Ziggy Ansah with that great speed on the defensive line for the Lions. Here's 3rd and goal from the 10. Everybody out. Quick throw complete to Floyd, and he's shoved back. He got to the 5-yard line before he was shoved back by Glover Quinn. And a little extra activity going on. Jason Jones for the Lions. And Eric Winston, the tackle for the Cardinals, getting involved.
The same little rub combination. We're going to see Larry Fitzgerald obviously trying to get a little rub here for Michael Floyd to get inside. You never quite get that pick. Larry's not able to get that block, the depth. You're expecting man coverage. Try to get a rub, create some space for Michael Floyd. Good job by the Lions defense.
What a job. They gave up only 2 yards after a 1st and goal from the 7. 23-yard field goal try for Jay Feely is good. And the Cardinals make the turnover, pay for 3 points. Reggie Bush dropped the ball. Calais Campbell recovered it. But the Lions defense did a great job to stop the Cardinals, hold them to 3. Reggie Bush a little dejected. He turned the ball over. It wound up as 3 points for the Cardinals.
Well, this guy's a perfectionist. They had a little kind of play action run going, toss one way, come back. Reggie just never got his arm up, and you saw the ball pop out.
Good kick by Jay Feely out of the end zone. And the touchback gives the Lions the ball to the 20-yard line. The Lions still leading 14-13. The battle of the receiving stars. So far, it's Calvin Johnson winning over Larry Fitzgerald.
Calvin Johnson, Matthew Stafford, they have looked pretty to say the least.
Empty backfield again. Joyke Bell is the running back. He splits out to the left. From the 20, Stafford to Bell. Dropped it. Low throw is incomplete. We go to Molly McGrath on the sideline. Molly.
Thanks, Sam. Detroit's wide receiver Patrick Edwards was seen being wheeled around in a golf cart towards their locker room at halftime, and the Lions have confirmed that he has an ankle injury. They didn't specify which one, but he is questionable to return, and he's not on the sideline right now. Sam?
Thanks, Molly. 2nd and 10. Lions have rushed the ball 14 times, thrown it 21 times. Arizona, 9 rushes, 22 passes. 2nd and 10, Detroit, and again, they go empty backfield. You like this spread offense?
You know what, I do, and it shows the trust that they have in Joyke Bell. We know Reggie Bush, the wide receiving running back, but Joyke Bell catches the ball as well, split them out, create spacing for throwing lanes for Matthew Stafford.
Try to get it to the tight end, Brandon Pettigrew. Good job by Carlos Dansby covering.
Carlos is one of the most complete linebackers that has played this game in a long time. Very rangy, very instinctive, great tackler in space, very good blitzer. There's really not a weak point in his game after 10 years.
After 6 years here, he went to Miami for 3 and came back.
Had some good years in Miami.
He said this is where he belongs. 3rd and 10 for the Lions. Joyke Bell still in there. Pressure on Stafford. He steps up and throws off the hands of Brandon Pettigrew. Another good job by Carlos Dansby.
Great presence again by Carlos. You see the timing. He is right in his hip pocket. But again, you see Matthew, and this is where the athleticism of Matthew Stafford comes in. You're going to see him get pressure. This guy feels it as good as some of those great quarterbacks. He slides up in the pocket. This is a catch that Brandon Pettigrew honestly should have caught.
High punt by Sam Martin. Fair catch. Waved for by Patrick Peterson. And the Cardinals will start from the 28-yard line. Never be without football, Heath. Get coverage of every NFL game on NFL Mobile. Call Star NFL to download it now.
I've got it on my phone, buddy.
Me too.
All those plane flights.
In the car, going to the airport, sitting in the airport. Patrick Edwards getting the ride back from the locker room to the bench, so that's a good sign.
Well,
hopefully
I'm not sure it's a good
okay.
sign that he's getting the ride, though. I'd much rather see him jogging out here. We'll see.
It's a long run.
It is a long. This is a big stadium here in Arizona.
From the 28-yard line, Carson Palmer with Richard Mendenhall, the running back. Off the play fake. Palmer to the sideline. And the catch made
by Patrick Peterson.
Patrick Peterson in for his third offensive play and his first reception in the NFL.
Well,
is that a catch?
Ooh, Sam, you know what?
Is it a catch?
We see Carson Palmer being the veteran quarterback that he is. Get to the line, quick snap, handoff to Rashard Mendenhall.
It's a catch now. It's official. Patrick Peterson with his first reception in the NFL.
Well, you see the athleticism of Patrick Peterson on that last play. Wide receivers are taught all day, every day, come back to the ball. Don't leave spacing between the quarterback, the ball, and your body. He's put his foot in the ground, came back, and made a very deceptive catch, he did.
What's the effect of his being out there on offense?
Well, his words alone says it gives him a greater understanding of really what wide receivers are trying to do to him on defense, understanding of the offense and the mindset of wide receivers and how you set a defensive back up.
Good run by Mendenhall on second down, gets a first down for the Cardinals at the 44-yard line. Jason Jones on the tackle. Good run by Rashard Mendenhall.
And this is what you get in a veteran back. You see the patience. He gets over here, boom, he's going to put his foot in the ground, setting up offensive linemen down the field. And it's just, those are innate abilities that you really can't teach. You saw Darren College pull around, and as Rashard came around, he set up Darren's block, made him right, squeaked through the hole.
Stephon Taylor, a rookie out of Stanford, in the lineup for the Cardinals at running back. That pass to Jim Dre, the tight end, picks up about 4 on the play, down to the 40-yard line, close to the 40. So the Cardinals on the move now, down by 1. Dre isn't flashy, he doesn't have great speed, but he seems to be very steady and you can depend on him.
Well, I mean, Carson depended on him there. Carson put that ball right on him. Great hand-eye reaction. Snatched the ball, get upfield, good 4-yard gain.
There's the handoff to Taylor, and Taylor gets a couple of yards down to the 38-yard line. Taylor, a 5th-round draft pick out of Stanford. He left Stanford with all the rushing records there. Did a great job. And once again, kind of a surprise draft pick by the Cardinals. They went running back in the 5th and 6th rounds.
Well, I think it speaks to what Bruce wants to be and how he wants to play offense. He wants dependable backs that can pass protect, that can run the ball physically, catch the ball out of the backfield, and that's what they got in both of those guys.
There's a big 3rd down play, 3rd and 4 for the Cardinals. 3 wide receivers left. Palmer being rushed, and it's intercepted. Being brought back by DeAndre Levy, and he's going for a touchdown. No illegal blocks on that one. DeAndre Levy with a touchdown. And the Lions have widened the lead. A 66-yard interception and return for a touchdown by Levy.
I'm not quite sure where Carson's going with this. You can see he's obviously trying to work here to the right. There's pressure. He's having to move around a bit here in the pocket. It looks like Jim Dre, who was in the middle of your screen, sat down in a zone coverage, and Carson threw it like it was a man route, like he was going to continue to run into that zone. Miscommunication ends up costing the team 7 points.
Last week, DeAndre Levy had an interception returned for a touchdown negated by Ndamukong Suh's illegal block. No illegal blocks on this one. DeAndre Levy gets his touchdown this week. The Lions defense with a turnover and a score. Second career touchdown for DeAndre Levy. His first was in 2010, and that one was a good one. 66 yards. One of the Lions' goals, more takeaways this year. They had 4 last week with 3 interceptions, and here's an interception for a touchdown.
This was just good instincts by DeAndre. You know, he was watching Carson in coverage against Jim Dre and really fell right into it. Great snatch, and he's obviously fast enough to finish the job.
Sam Martin kicks it away deep into the end zone and through the end zone for a touchback.
Well, and here's the DeAndre touchdown. You're going to see Carson. I mean, we're getting pressure from everywhere. You're going to see Suh get in here as well, but watch Jim Dre. He's going to come across and stop Carson thinks that he's going to continue to run into this zone here, and that's where Carson throws the ball. And miscommunication, misunderstanding between Jim Dre. Think about it. That would be Rob Hausler. You saw Jim just kind of sit in that little zone. And then here, this is even a better view. You saw 81 right there in the middle of your screen settle down. DeAndre Levy steps right in front of it. Touchdown.
Cardinals were on a good drive. Now they start from the 20-yard line, down by 8. Rashard Mendenhall has a hole. Hard, strong run. The helmet comes off. It's a 9-yard pickup for Rashard Mendenhall.
And this is what Bruce Arians wants to be. I mean, Bruce wants to be a guy that can get the ball downhill. You know, Carson said they want to dink and dunk. You're going to watch. Jim Dre gets a key block on there. Larry Fitzgerald again, that selfless wide receiver. Key blocks, springs a big run. First down, 9 yards.
Mendenhall again, first down. And the pickup up to the 37-yard line. A pickup of 8 on the play. 10 carries, 57 yards for Rashard Mendenhall. That's good numbers.
Well, and that should only help Carson and Larry and Andre Roberts and Michael Floyd when you could steadily attack a defense with a healthy dose of the run game. You know, a veteran quarterback like Carson Palmer, they'll get this offense under Bruce Arians going, get it headed in the right direction.
3 wide receivers in. Dre is the tight end to the right.
Like 90.
Palmer gets time. Deep for Larry Fitzgerald. Couldn't hold on. Flag on the play. 4th time they've targeted Larry Fitzgerald. He's had 2 catches in the game. That time just couldn't hold on.
Well, and this is the part of the game of Larry Fitzgerald's game that
Pass interference. Number 28 defense, automatic. First down.
this is where Larry Fitzgerald is being made better by Bruce Arians. You're going to see him right here. He motioned down in here. He is going to run this little just post route. It's very simple, but this is something Larry's never done before. He's never been lined up in the slot. Bruce Arians has forced him to learn all the different positions. Bill Bentley gets the pull on the jersey. We see the flag. Good call by the officials.
28-yard penalty, 4th penalty of the game on the Lions. First down at the Lions 35. Alfonso Smith in the backfield.
Patrick Peterson.
And Peterson is going to throw it. And his pass is complete. How about that? Patrick Peterson with his first pass completion in the NFL. He hits Kerry Taylor.
What did Carson tell us? You see Patrick Peterson in motion. He's going to get the handoff and then reverse his field back and throw this ball. Carson Palmer told us that, listen, every head coach, every offensive coordinator has trick plays in the arsenal, but Bruce Arians has the guts to call them. We see the strike. How about this athleticism from one of the best DBs? Now he's got an arm. We knew the punt return skills. This kid can do it all.
Kerry Taylor was just signed from the practice squad on Saturday. Carson Palmer back to throw into the end zone. Incomplete. It's out of the end zone. The catch was made by Michael Floyd, but he was beyond the end line.
You like the placement of the ball. This is just a play that has to take a snap second faster, where the DBs obviously can't force Michael out of the back of the end zone. But great awareness there by Delmas and this Detroit Lions defensive backfield to get up in the air, push him out of the back of the end zone.
Ball at the 18-yard line. That pass from Peterson to Kerry Taylor for 17 yards. Oh, Ellington was hit by Ndamukong Suh. He barely had time to hold on to the handoff when Suh slammed him. A loss of 3 on the play.
You're going to see Ndamukong Suh lined up right here. And this is just this effort of what they've been trying to do to him all day. You're trying to pull around Darren College. You see him laying on the ground right there. Ndamukong Suh too fast, too explosive. Andre Ellington is lucky to even hold on to the ball there.
And by the way, for Kerry Taylor, the receiver on the pass from Patrick Peterson, that was his first NFL catch of his career. Palmer in trouble. They've got him back at the 25-yard line. Willie Young, the coaches looking for consistency from Willie Young. He had a strong game last week, has the sack here.
Well, this is where that back end is tied to the front end. You're going to see there's not really anywhere for Carson to stick this ball. Stephen Tulloch on Fitzgerald, and now you watch Carson Palmer here. He's looking over here. He's trying to find Larry. Willie Young, 79, comes around that back end. The rest was history.
Now field goal try for Jay Feely, 43 yards, and it is good. So Arizona with a couple of big plays, some surprise plays, but they settled for 3. They're down by 5. What was Patrick Peterson's goal?
One score.
But Calvin Johnson, 81, did score on him.
Absolutely. Matthew Stafford, a beautiful ball on that first one. That second one, great play design by Scott Lanahan, the OC. This is still a battle, though. Patrick Peterson's been in place pretty much the whole day.
He's caught a pass. He's thrown a pass completion. A little of everything. Well, the guys on the Lions refer to him. I mean, they likened him to Deion Sanders.
Yes.
Say he's just a great all-around athlete.
You don't want the ball in his hands is what they were saying. Punt returns, can't let it happen. The guy's an interception waiting to happen. Ball skills that are very rare for defensive backs.
Lions lead is 5 points, 21-16. Jay Feely to kick it off. Jay Feely with 3 field goals in the game and a good kickoff for a touchback. I'm missing some of these runbacks on kickoffs. Too many touchbacks for my liking.
Well, the funny thing is we kick off from the 35 now, and the rule of thumb used to be when you kicked off from the 30, you never brought it out past 4 yards deep. Now we see guys all the time 8 and 9 yards deep. The defenders are closer at the 35 instead of the 30, and they still bring it out.
Well, those return specialists, they want to earn their money.
They're all selfish, if you ask me, Sam. Keep the ball in there, bring it out to the 20.
You had a block for them. That's why
true.
You say that.
Yeah, exactly.
Lions from the 20. With Joyce Bell, the running back. Reggie Bush hasn't been in since the fumble. Good hole for Bell. He gets 4. Time for an update. Let's go to L.A. to Kurt Menefee.
Well, the Saints and Bucks are finally playing football. Jimmy Graham getting in that argument for best tight end in the league. 56-yard score puts the Saints up 10-7. They're only in the second quarter, remember, delayed more than an hour by lightning.
Pretty good tight end there, Jimmy Graham.
Yeah, he's okay.
We'll see the Saints next week. Cardinals at the Saints on the NFL on Fox. 2nd and 6. Off the play fake. Stafford rolls, looks. Nobody open. And he slides down at the 26-yard line. Picked up a couple on the play. Matthew Stafford, after a couple of injury-filled seasons, has been very, very solid the last couple of years.
He has, and really just displayed some of that athleticism that he's had that kind of gotten lost in the early years with the injuries. But that last play, trying to find Calvin Johnson, streaming across the field. Couldn't find him, gets upfield, and picks up some decent yardage.
Lions 3 for 7 on 3rd down conversions in the game. Joyce Bell in the backfield. 3 wide receivers in. Almost a surprise snap again. Stafford throws low, incomplete. Double coverage on Calvin Johnson that time as Peterson got help from Carlos Dansby.
Well, and you know what? I think people might look at this play and say, oh, Matthew Stafford, the early inherent snap, he wasn't ready, and then, oh, he panicked and threw the ball away. I love this development of Matthew Stafford. It potentially could have been a horrible play. The snap wasn't snapped in time. Early for Matthew, he just throws the ball away, lives to punt the ball and play for another down.
Sam Martin's kick, fair catch. Called for by Patrick Peterson at the 26-yard line. And a good ball game here in Arizona. Kind of the game we thought it would be close. People were asking what kind of game would it be, and our feeling was it's going to be a toss-up.
We knew it'd be tough and physical with Jim Schwartz, obviously the defensive Lions head coach, Detroit Lions head coach. He wanted this game physical, and that's what they've given him. Calvin Johnson, Matthew Stafford been spectacular. Bruce Arians in the second half running the ball more of the offensive dimension that he wants.
And the big difference, a bad pass by Carson Palmer turns into an interception for a touchdown by DeAndre Levy.
Yes, can't have those turnovers.
Cardinals from the 26. Rashard Mendenhall, the running back. No, that is Stephon Taylor. And the pass outside for Larry Fitzgerald, incomplete. Little bump from Chris Houston. You hear the fan reaction.
Well, we're going to get to see Larry Fitzgerald, Chris Houston going at it. I think this is more possibly incidental from the way I saw it the first time. Larry being physical as he always is. A little grab there. Chris Houston falls down the back of his heel. I think it was more about lack of timing between Carson and Larry than it was the contact by Chris Houston.
2nd and 10. Cardinals with 3 wide receivers. And the rookie Stephon Taylor, 5'9", 216. 5th round pick out of Stanford. Palmer with time, completes it to Andre Roberts. Short pickup up to the 31-yard line. Give him 5 on the play. Chris Houston covering. And that brings up a 3rd and 5 for the Cardinals.
Bruce Arians is so good about using Larry Fitzgerald to create space for other wide receivers. That time Larry was lined up in the slot, cross him across the formation, open up windows for Andre Roberts and Carson Palmer to hook up.
Cardinals 0 for 8 on 3rd down conversions in the game. 3 wide receivers in, make it 4 wide receivers with Andre Ellington at running back. Palmer has time, nobody open, they got him. And the ball popped loose. And the Lions have it. There's a flag on the play. Ziggy Ansah with the hit and the sack, forcing the fumble. And Willie Young gets up with the football.
Illegal use of hands, hands to the face. Number 79, defense. A 5-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
Negates the turnover.
Negates a turnover inside the 30. You see Willie Young down here on the bottom end of your screen. They're pushing back Eric Winston, but this indecision from Carson Palmer just can't happen. These are the manageable situations where let the ball go, live to punt the ball, protect your team.
Once again, the young defensive lineman, Ziggy Ansah, the 1st round draft pick out of BYU with a big play for the Lions.
Very fast, very strong, very instinctive.
1st down, Cardinals as they get the break on the penalty by the Lions. Lions' 5th penalty of the game. Palmer wants to go deep. Over the middle instead. And the completion to Kerry Taylor. Taylor, who practiced with the regulars this week.
Yeah, personal foul. Personal foul, roughing the passer, contact below the knees. 15-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
And Carson Palmer has now gone over 30,000 yards passing in his career. Chris Houston was shaken up on the play.
Well, you're going to see Israel Adonijah, 77 right here, slide in late. And this is just the defensive rulings that call it unfair to the defensive lineman, kind of stumbling, kind of falling in, trying to make a play. You cannot hit these quarterbacks at knee level. To be safe, you probably don't want to hit them below their waist.
Kerry Taylor is sort of making his presence felt with 2 catches. The 1st-year man out of Arizona State was on the practice squad last year. And there are the numbers for Carson Palmer, 7th active quarterback to go over 30,000 yards passing.
Well,
he is an accurate thrower.
He is. He struggled through some tough years, obviously, in Oakland, but in his heyday with Cincinnati, I don't care what team, whether it was Seattle or whether it was New England Patriots, you knew you were going to be in a fight with Carson Palmer, a physical, stand-in-the-pocket quarterback. We saw there with Kerry Taylor. He stood in the pocket, took a hit low below the knees. Kerry Taylor goes up, makes a great grab in traffic.
A couple of key penalties creeping in on the Lions.
Yes. We talk about now 40 yards of hidden yardage, where that would have been Detroit's ball inside the 30 going in.
Now, Cardinals with the ball at the Lions 33, Mendenhall at running back. Takes it and gets inside the 30. Time to update the Manning Bowl. Let's go to Kurt Menefee.
Well, Sam, there are other guys playing in this game, too, like Wes Welker, right? 2-yard reception from Peyton Manning puts the Denver Broncos up 17-9 midway through the 3rd quarter. Sam and Heath.
All right, Peyton has won the first 2 Manning Bowls and leads here in the 3rd. Back here in Arizona at the 30-yard line. Second down for the Cardinals. Palmer being rushed. Outside, the catch made by Kerry Taylor at the first down marker. And the local product has been outstanding in this game. His third catch.
Yes, he has, Michael Floyd. But again, we talk about the pressure. You see all the different backers, DBs coming in here. Jim Schwartz told us yesterday, you got to time these up. And then here we go again. Boom, stick the foot in the ground. Thing of beauty, Kerry Taylor understanding the depth and the rhythm that Carson needs him to have.
Another good drive for the Cardinals. With the first down at the Lions 23. Two tight ends in. Palmer throwing and a little miscommunication. Late break by Andre Roberts. And the pass falls incomplete. We've reached the end of the third quarter. The Cardinals on the move. The Lions with a big defensive play have the lead on the Cardinals 21-16. Sam Rosen, Heath Evans, Molly McGrath here in Arizona, and a good one as we start the fourth quarter. Detroit leading Arizona 21-16. The Cardinals on the move. Second and 10 at the Lions 23-yard line. Carson Palmer, everybody out. Pass was tipped and falls incomplete. Larry Fitzgerald being rubbed down. Is that the hamstring?
That's what's bothered him since week one of the season. Made it through a productive week one. Didn't practice this week, hoping that he would be healthy for today. He's been active, a few catches, but not the day that they need him to have or that he was hoping for.
Carson Palmer, 19 for 31, 223 yards, one touchdown, one interception. That interception turned into a Lions touchdown, the difference in the game. Alfonso Smith, the running back, splits out left. Everybody out. Pressure on. Completed to Jim Dre, the tight end, but he's short of a first down. Got down to the 15-yard line where he was hit hard. And it'll bring up a fourth down. They picked up 8 on the play. And here comes the field goal kicking unit. Jay Feely looking for his 4th of the game. This will be a 33-yard try as Bruce Arians and Carson Palmer talk things over. Feely, and it's through. 4 field goals for Jay Feely. The Lions lead is cut to 2. 21-19.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Chrysler, imported from Detroit. By KFC, the official sponsor of Couchgating. KFC plus football equals Couchgating. And by Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL.
We are back in Arizona. What a beautiful trip that is.
Beautiful.
Look at this.
Stunning.
Arizona State beat Wisconsin last night. A lot of good football in this area. Good game here.
Those Wisconsin fans in our hotel weren't too happy last night, were they?
Yeah, no. Spurlock back deep for the Lions. Feely kicks it off. Spurlock takes it at the end line and takes a knee. Let's check out the Lions offensive leaders in this game. Matthew Stafford right at the top, 16 for 24, 210 yards and 2 touchdowns. Joique Bell, they haven't run the ball all that much. Bush and Bell have run it a little bit. Right now Bell is the man carrying the load. Bush has not returned since fumbling.
No, he has not. A little sprained knee, maybe a hyperextended knee. Get some more information on him hopefully later from the game.
Matthew Stafford 0 for 4, 0 yards passing here in the second half. Lions from the 20. And again they go spread offense. Joique Bell split out left. The blitz coming. And the pass to Joique Bell. Up to the 29, a gain of 9 on the play. One thing about the Lions running backs, they are good receivers.
Yes, well, with Scott Manahan, I played with him very briefly during the 2005 season. He wants you to be able to catch the ball. You better be able to pass protect, and you better be good in space. Joique Bell gives you those things as well as that monster Reggie Bush as well.
Reggie Bush on the sideline. 2nd and 1 for the Lions. Pettigrew, the tight end, shifts. Bell carries. Busts through the first wave. And a good run up to the 36, a first down. A gain of 7 on the play.
You see the grit of Joik Bell here. You know, you're going to see just this little inside zone handoff, and all he's doing, he's putting his shoulder pads down, head down, running through contact. There's an extra 4.5 plus probably 5 yards after contact just because of the grit and determination to finish the run.
First down at the 36. 3 wide receivers in for the Lions. Bell looking for an opening, not much there. Good job up front by the Cardinals. No gain on the play.
On the stat sheet, it doesn't show up, but this is a good job of managing the run for Joik Bell. This easily could have been a 3-yard loss if he tried to bubble around the penetrating defensive line, put his foot in the ground, get back to the line of scrimmage, let Matthew Stafford and these wide receivers go to work.
Ronald Talley is in. They've got 4 defensive linemen in. Matt Shaughnessy, Calais Campbell, Darnell Dockett, and Ronald Talley. Dan Williams has gone to the sideline for Arizona. Blitz coming. Stafford gets rid of it to Bell. Slips one man. Fights off another tackle. And it looks like a first down up at the 46. Joik Bell is a hard runner.
Well, a good understanding of what's coming. You can't really see it, but you see Tyrann Mathieu. You see coming off the edge, Matthew Stafford gets rid of the ball, but the angle there from Joik Bell, understanding, hey, pressure, my quarterback is under duress. Let me set this down, give him my shoulders, give him an easy target to hit in space.
First down, Lions at the 46-yard line. Calvin Johnson motions. The pass to Johnson. Breaks one man and is upended by Rashad Johnson, the safety. Good pickup down to the Cardinals' 36-yard line. Once again, a short pass, 18-yard gain. And Calvin Johnson with another 100-yard game receiving.
I love the development from Matthew Stafford. He saw Tyrann Mathieu, the rookie out of LSU, coming across the edge. We know that Calvin in space is an absolute nightmare, but just the ability to get rid of the ball through the traffic of the pressure, get it to your big man, and the rest was over and done with.
5 catches, 114 yards for Calvin Johnson, who goes to the sideline. Joik Bell was brought down. Good tackle by Tony Jefferson, the rookie safety out of Oklahoma, one of 2 undrafted free agents to make the Cardinals team.
Well, and has played a lot today as well. We talked with the communication issues. When you have rookies in your defensive back end, we mentioned Tyrann Mathieu, the 2 previous plays, edge pressure on Matthew Stafford. Tony Jefferson, Tyrann Mathieu, guys have done a very good job today handling a very difficult pass offense from the Detroit Lions.
2nd and 8 for the Lions, who spread the offense. Calvin Johnson back in. Everybody out. Quick release to Pettigrew, the tight end. And he's wrestled back as he got forward progress to the 31-yard line. Again, Tony Jefferson in on the play. Gain of 3 will bring up a 3rd and 5 for the Lions. This drive started at the 20-yard line.
3rd and 5, Calvin Johnson back in the game. I love the management of Matthew Stafford on that 2nd and long situation. Pick up 5, get in a manageable situation on 3rd down.
Joik Bell, the running back, split to the left. Stafford to Johnson, hit immediately. Outstanding play by Carlos Dansby. On that slant across, Johnson caught it, and Dansby was there.
Well, you're going to see just the awareness of a very seasoned NFL linebacker, a decade in this business, started his career here. He talked about formation recognition. It really tells the story about what they want to do each down and distance. Carlos was on it here. It was beautiful.
David Akers will attempt a 47-yard field goal to try and open up the lead. And it's blocked. Justin Bethel with the block. The Cardinals with a recovery. Tally is pulled out of bounds. Big play by the Cardinals special teams unit. The second-year man out of Presbyterian, Justin Bethel.
If you remember earlier in the game, Justin Bethel ran into David Akers, gave David Akers a second opportunity. Later in the game, actually redeems himself. Arizona, throughout the last couple of years, I think dating back to 2007, there is no team better at blocking field goals, PATs. This is a thing of beauty. Bruce Arians loves this. Arizona, Carlos Dansby, flexing the muscle, flexing the pipes. Bruce Arians loves it.
And Akers has had himself a tough day. He's missed a field goal, got a second try, missed another one.
Right.
And here had one blocked. So the Cardinals at their own 42. Rashard Mendenhall. It's about 5 up to the 47-yard line.
And Larry Fitzgerald still not in the game, which is a huge advantage for this defensive backfield of the Detroit Lions.
11 carries, 62 yards for Rashard Mendenhall, and Larry Fitzgerald bothered by the hamstring injury. Had a couple of plays where he really had to go all out. That one-handed try where there was a penalty on the Lions. He might have aggravated that. He's on the sideline. Mendenhall looking for an opening, and he is taken down. Good tackle by the middle linebacker, Stephen Tulloch. We haven't talked about Tulloch all that much in this game, but he is a veteran leader on this team.
Well, and you see Stephen, we talked about formation recognition again. You're going to see him. He's going to pause, and then he is just screaming downfield. Shields off a defender, an offensive lineman, taking his gap assignment, doing it the correct way. A lot of times Stephen doesn't show up on the stat sheet, but this guy, down in and down out, always in the right position, always around the ball. Great tackler in space.
Ellington in the backfield on 3rd and 5. Swing it to Andre Ellington. He's got a first down, and he lost the football. They're wrestling for it. Lions think they have it. The officials trying to get them all loose. Chris Houston comes out with the football. They're looking at the pile, and Houston has the ball in the middle of the field.
Bill Bentley, I believe, is the one that comes up and makes the strike on Andre Ellington.
It's Bruce Arians, the coach of the Cardinals, yelling at referee Pete Morelli. We still haven't had a ruling. And Pete Morelli and Bruce Arians talking things over.
Ruling on the field that the ball was fumbled and recovered by Arizona. However, Arizona is challenging the ruling on the field that the receiver was down by contact and it was a first down on the play. Timeout.
All right, so there's a lot to sort out. Pete Morelli will figure it out. Andre Ellington upended, and the ball popped loose. We are back as Pete Morelli will make his ruling on this play.
I think this should be a pretty easy decision, Sam.
After reviewing the play, the receiver was down by contact at the 47-yard line. The result of the play is a first down. Arizona will not be charged a timeout.
Good call by Bruce Arians.
Yes, great call by Bruce, and I think he had the best angle of it because of where he was at on the sidelines. As Andre's coming around, you see Bill Bentley dice his legs up, but as he loses his balance here, you never see the ball move in his arm until it hits the ground. The ground cannot cause a fumble, and so as Andre Ellington gets tripped up, he's able to maintain possession of the ball until it hits the ground.
They gained 7, a first down on a big 3rd down play at the Lions' 47-yard line. 2 backs in, and some movement on the outside. Eric Winston, the right tackle. Willie Young, the defensive end.
Defense, neutral zone infractions number 79. 5-yard penalty remains first down.
Again, the Lions with some penalties. That's their 7th of the game.
Well, Detroit, much better job today in the penalty department than last week, but 4th quarter, 6 minutes and 45 seconds left. If you're giving away free 5 yards, you just can't do it. This game, 19-21, Arizona driving.
And the handoff to loss on the play.
Stephen
of
Toller.
a couple of yards. Time for an update. Kurt Menefee standing by in L.A.
Well, this looks like a flashback. Brandon Jacobs just re-signed by the Giants this week. Rumbles in from a yard out, pulling the Giants closer to Denver 17-16, approaching the end of the third quarter, Sam and Heath.
Brandon Jacobs just re-signed by the Giants, scores a big touchdown.
The big back is back in New York. That makes you happy, doesn't it, Sam?
A familiar face helped them win the Super Bowl. 2nd and 7. Palmer gets time. Puts it up deep for Andre Roberts, overthrows him.
This is one of those shot plays that when you've been in Bruce Arians' offense or around, you know he wants to run the ball, but he's also going to just take these shots down the field. He wants to stress the defensive back. He wants to make them cover every inch of this football field, and that's exactly what it is. You see Louis Delmas in great position to make the play if that ball was in better position by Carson Palmer, but Bruce is never going to let a defense get comfortable. He's going to run the ball. He's going to screen. He's going to dink and dunk, and he's going to take his chunks down the field as well.
Cardinals 1 for 10 on third downs in the game. Here's 3rd and 7 at the Lions 44. Pressure. Palmer moves away and throws. Let's see, was the catch made? Michael Floyd, no, it's ruled incomplete. Floyd says he caught it.
Field is an incomplete pass. 4th down.
Well, you know these wide receivers, they always say they catch the ball, but we get a great window to look at this. And does he pull it all the way in? His arms are underneath that ball, Sam, and I don't think it ever hits the grass. Carson is screaming for the challenge flag.
And it's been thrown. Bruce Arians will challenge the call.
I can see why the referees would rule it incomplete.
Arizona is challenging the ruling on the field, but the result of the play was a catch. Timeout.
All right. The referee will check it out. We'll check it out. And we'll get a ruling, an important ruling in a moment.
Today's game is sponsored by the Samsung Galaxy S4. The next big thing is here.
Play under review. Let's take another look.
I think here's your scenario. It was ruled incomplete on the field. And will our referees be able to have conclusive evidence that his arms were under it the whole time? I say catch right here. Michael Floyd's arms, hands clearly under the ball. He's appealing to the refs. To me, it looks like a catch.
The ref behind him said no.
Which I'm not sure how he saw that. The line judge on our side of the field runs in from about 40 yards away, screaming incomplete, waving his hands incomplete.
There was some movement of the ball,
Absolutely.
but his arms may have been underneath.
Well, you never see the ball hit the ground, but there we go back to, again, the ruling on the field. Incomplete. It has to be conclusive. It looks like we're getting ready to get our call now.
All right, here comes Pete Morelli, and let us know.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. It's an incomplete pass. Arizona will be charged with timeout, and now they're out of challenges.
And again, that's because there was nothing there to overturn it.
Well, I think they saw the same thing that I see here, and that's, hey, yes, arms are under it. You have this defender crossing in front of the camera right before they can get conclusive evidence of did that ball, that's Louis Delmas flying in front of the camera, and you just couldn't conclude from that it never did hit the ground.
Brings up a 4th and 7 for the Cardinals, and they will punt it away. 5th punt of the game for Dave Zastudil. Michael Spurlock standing at his own 6. Picked up in the air, a high one. Spurlock comes over. Cardinals have it covered. Justin Bethel is there. Bethel has played well on special teams for the Cardinals. Every week, great action, great games. Next week, Lions go to Washington, take on RG3 and the Redskins. Cardinals go to New Orleans and face Drew Brees and the Saints. There's other regional action. It all starts with Fox NFL Kickoff Show at 11 a.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1, followed by Fox NFL Sunday at noon Eastern, right here on Fox. There were some great games today. Earlier, great games going on. This one a beauty from the 8-yard line. The Lions, 4th time in the game they have started inside their own 10. Joyke Bell. No gain on the play. Let's go to the field of Molly McGrath.
Thanks, Sam. Reggie Bush came in for a couple plays after halftime, but we haven't seen him much since. I asked Detroit staff about it, and he retweaked that same left knee, and he's listed as questionable. And as far as Larry Fitzgerald's status, he currently has his left upper leg wrapped. He's walking with a slight limp, and he is also questionable with that hamstring.
That doesn't look too good. Thanks, Molly. 2nd and 10 for the Lions. At their own 8-yard line. Stafford being pressured, gets rid of it, dropped by Joyke Bell. Sam Acho applying some pressure on the outside, and Stafford threw it sidearm.
You know, it's a beautiful sidearm. You know what? Matthew's one of the few quarterbacks. He feels the pressure. You call out Sam Acho, push in the pocket, delivers a beautiful ball. Joyke Bell, I think a little too anxious to get his feet turned upfield and gain some extra yardage. Took his eye off the ball. Incomplete pass for Matthew Stafford.
3rd and 10. Lions with 3 wide receivers, split Joyke Bell out to the left. Stafford fires, and it's incomplete. Try to go to Brandon Pettigrew, the tight end. Rashad Johnson, the safety, on the coverage.
Pressure again, very timely pressure. We're going to see John Abraham standing up out to the left side. You see, as he gets around, typical John Abraham bends that pocket back on Riley Reef. Just enough pressure to make Matthew fire that ball in there. Beautiful strike. That's one again. Brandon Pettigrew, few times a day. Tough catches, but big drops in big situations.
Sam Martin, good, deep, high punt. Return for Patrick Peterson. He's hit at the 40 and brought down. Excellent coverage by DeJon Gomes of the Lions. But the Cardinals, trailing by 2, just under 4.5 minutes to go, have the ball. Larry Fitzgerald on the sideline as the Cardinals come out with the ball from their 39-yard line. A big possession here, trailing by 2. And you know he's hurting if he can't be in the game.
This guy doesn't miss snaps, doesn't miss games. Absolute warrior.
2 backs. Richard Mendenhall motions. Ellington stays in the backfield. Draw play to Ellington. Takes it outside. Andre Ellington falls forward to the Lions' 45-yard line. Nice run by the rookie from Clemson, the 6th-round draft pick.
I love the play design of Bruce Arians. You get Richard Mendenhall out of the backfield, kind of get their attention away, and then you do this nice little slip draw, a little speed draw, and then get your fast, both athletic back out in space. Beautiful.
Gain of 16 for the Lions' 45. Carson Palmer is connected with 10 different receivers in this game, but he hands off to Mendenhall, no gain. Excellent defensive play by the middle linebacker, Stephen Tulloch.
Great job by Gunther Cunningham, Jim Schwartz. You see a pressure again. Are they going to run the ball? Passing situation, not really. And then you're going to see the crash and the crash. But watch Stephen Tulloch come in here and fill. This is just the understanding of what you got going. Stephen around the edge, hits Richard in the backfield. Good team defense, understanding where you fit into the piece of the, where's your piece of the puzzle and where you fit in.
Mendenhall in the backfield with Palmer, everybody out. That pass complete. But Michael Floyd down to the 34-yard line. Chris Houston covering a gain of 11.
You're going to see Michael Floyd. All he's going to do is just dart across here. You see Carson Palmer, little stick, get the separation, give Carson the ability to hit him in stride. Good ball, good catch, good finish.
Floyd becomes so important with Fitzgerald out. 3 catches, 22 yards. Carson Palmer, 22 for 37 for 248 yards. Alfonso Smith in the backfield now. Smith carries. and gets a couple of yards down close to the 32-yard line.
Timeout. Detroit, first team timeout.
The Lions.
30-second timeout.
Lions use a timeout. The Cardinals are right in the range of Jay Feely.
Smart play by Jim. You're balancing the effect of they're running the ball. We've got our 2-minute warning. We had 3 timeouts before we took this one. This is that safe defensive structured play. Hey, now let's give my defense a chance to breathe. Hopefully they can get them off the field.
If you're just joining us, there's Calvin Johnson. He's had an outstanding day. 6 catches, 116 yards, 2 touchdowns. One was a 72-yarder. Carson Palmer and Matthew Stafford have played well. Palmer, the numbers, 22 for 37. A defensive touchdown for the Lions in the game, an interception and 66-yard return by DeAndre Levy. Mendenhall in the backfield. Palmer, short drop. Lofts it down the sideline for Andre Roberts, overthrown. Well covered on the play by Rasheed Mathis, the veteran cornerback, with help from Louis Delmas, the safety.
I think this is one of those times where Carson maybe had made up his mind pre-snap. Louis Delmas flies over the top late, right at the snap of the ball. Ball didn't have a chance to be caught.
3rd and long. Cardinals have to get to the 24 for a first down. 4 wide receivers in. Deron Brown wide to the right. Andre Ellington in the backfield. Everybody out. Palmer gets time, puts it up deep. He's got Andre Roberts interfered with by Bill Bentley. That will set up the Cardinals.
Pass interference. Number 28 defense. Automatic. First down.
Roberts had a step on Bentley.
He really did. And again, I hate to praise Bruce Arians, but again, play design, easy call for the officials. But where Andre Roberts was lined up to start, just a nice little wheel route that creates just enough.
Number 76 and number 79 have recorded. Number 76 and 79.
Bradley Sowell, a tackle. Nate Potter, a guard, are eligible. It's inside the 1, 1st and goal. Palmer looking to throw, and he throws it away. You're less than a yard. They were less than a yard away from the goal line, and they went pass on first down. What are your thoughts?
Well, this is Bruce Arians at his best. He's never going to give you an idea. Yes, this is a run down in distance. You see Big Sal, Big 79, the eligible wide receiver. Detroit, great job by Gunther Cunningham and his boys being ready for the pass play down there.
By the way, the Lions have 8 penalties in the game for 101 yards. Way too much. 2nd and goal inside the 1. Mendenhall bounces off one man. He's in. Touchdown.
Ball came loose, but after he had already crossed the line of scrimmage, at least that's the ruling on the field right now from the side judge. Arms raised in the air. Touchdown. You see Sperry in motion. Comes back. Rashad Mendenhall. Is the ball moving?
We will review
Easy call.
The previous play.
From this angle, it looks like he crosses the plane.
Rashard easily had the ball, controlled, right hand extended, no movement whatsoever in the ball, in the forearm. Ball does not move until this point here. Easy ruling.
Now that's a touchdown, and the Cardinals have regained the lead. As we wait for the official ruling.
Great 2nd and 3rd effort, to be honest with you, partner, by Rashard. Just initially stuffed up. Great job by Jason Jones. You see pushing back Levi Brown, Darren College. Rashard stays with the play, continues to push and fight, finds a way to get that arm extended over the white line.
And it looks as if the Cardinals, once the ruling is made official, are going to go for 2 points.
Well, the math is simple. We'll see what Bruce Arians can dial up down here for us.
Bruce Arians, what a coaching journey it's been for him. He's been...
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
So now the Cardinals have the lead, 25-21. They will try to go and make it 6 points.
I think the thought is simple. This team is so good at blocking extra points and field goals. They've already blocked 1 field goal today. If Detroit happens to score, you get this 2-point conversion, 6 points. We'll see how it happens down the stretch.
Ellington in the backfield. Roberts on the end around the fake. Palmer in trouble. Steps up and throws, and it's incomplete. The intended receiver, Michael Floyd, was out of the end zone. It's the 2-point try, no good. But Arizona has the lead.
Well, when us running backs get the touchdown, what do we find? We find the big guys and give them some love.
That is the 2-minute warning.
At the outset, we knew this would be a tough physical matchup. Lions, Cardinals, great quarterbacks, hard-hitting defensive players, intensity, and it comes right down to the wire. Rashard Mendenhall putting the Cardinals in the lead. He's carried 15 times, 66 yards, 1 touchdown, finishing off the drive. And the touchdown set up by that 31-yard pass interference on Bill Bentley. Now the Lions must go all the way in the end zone. Feely kicks it off. And it's through the end zone, hits the crossbar. And the Lions will start from the 20. Matthew Stafford will be called on to lead the comeback. Carson Palmer brought his team down the field to regain the lead.
As a young gun in this business, I think this is what Matthew Stafford probably dreams about at night, partner.
Matthew Stafford in his career, 8 fourth-quarter comeback wins.
You remember 2011, he was spectacular down the stretch, constantly putting his team in a position to win.
3 wide receivers, Joyce Bell in the backfield, pressure on, Stafford throws, and it's caught. A beautiful catch by Brandon Pettigrew, the tight end. Dansby was covering, it was well thrown, and a great catch by Pettigrew.
Carlos just misread the air and flight of that ball just a hair, kind of undercut Brandon Pettigrew. Wasn't quite able to get his hands up there and make a play on that ball.
At the 37 on first down, everybody out. Stafford off the hands of Joyce Bell. The safety Jeremiah Bell was covering him on the play. Joyce Bell, who's played well, didn't hold on to that one.
This was our second play just a second ago. You see Stafford looking for Brandon Pettigrew. Carlos Dansby tries to undercut it, just misjudged the flight pattern of that ball. Big play for Brandon, big catch in a big-time situation.
Chris Durham in as a wide receiver for the Lions. They go 3 wides, Pettigrew and Bell. Stafford throwing, and the catch, no, is not made. Covered by Patrick Peterson was Calvin Johnson, and he didn't hold on.
Great one-on-one matchup. We've seen it all day. Calvin's obviously got the best. Patrick Peterson gets away with a little bump here late in the progression. You'll see him get his hand in there. Good play. Good no call by the referees.
3rd and 10. Lions are 3 for 10 on 3rd down conversions in the game. Blitz coming. Stafford gets rid of it, completes it to Nate Burleson, short of a first down.
Timeout, Detroit. Second team timeout, a 30-second timeout.
It's going to be 4th and 4.
Well, here's Todd Bowles again, your double A gap. Jeremiah Bell is going to bail out. Carlos Dansby's going to fire in. You also have pressure coming from the outside over here from your defensive backfield. Matthew Stafford able to find the quick hitter, pick up 5. Now you're in a manageable play calling situation for Scott Linehan.
Lions have 1 timeout remaining. Scott Linehan, the offensive coordinator, talking things over with Matthew Stafford. Stafford 22 of 34, 266 yards, and 2 touchdowns to Calvin Johnson. 4th and 4. With the game on the line right here. Reggie Bush looking on. They spread the offense. Cardinals rush 4. The pass to Burleson. He's brought down short of the first down. Huge run by Tyrann Mathieu.
What a play by the rookie out of LSU. Soon as that catch was made, he was there, instantaneous contact and great tackling. Here's Calvin matchup, Patrick Peterson. You see Patrick's right on him, understanding what they're trying to do. Here's the flip side, what Matthew Stafford, Joique Bell, Jeremiah Bell gets crossed up in the traffic. These are these quick hitting plays where you kind of pick your poison from the jump. Matthew chose the right side. Great play by Tyrann Mathieu.
It's amazing the contributions that Bruce Arians and the Cardinals have gotten from these rookies.
It's amazing. It is amazing, especially against a high-powered offense like Detroit. We've seen Tony Jefferson make big tackles today in the open field, communicate well on the back end. Tyrann Mathieu splash plays last week, continued it here again today. Special kids that Bruce Arians has put on this roster.
The Cardinals will go 7-1 in their 8 home openers here in this stadium.
Tough place to play.
And Bruce Arians will get his first win as head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. The Lions go to 1-1 as well. Cardinals at New Orleans next week. Lions at Washington. The Cardinals with a comeback win. And the Gatorade shower for Bruce Arians makes him smile. The Arizona Cardinals, led by Carson Palmer, another comeback win, his 14th fourth-quarter comeback win of his career. And the rookie, Tyrann Mathieu, with a big stop. Calvin Johnson had a great game, but the Lions come up short. The Arizona Cardinals win it 25-21. We'll be back here in Glendale, Arizona in just a moment.